We are now at the graduate exhibition of Lime Academy College of Fine Arts. It's a very small and very famous college in the United States. There are about 100 students, of which 22 are graduating today. It's the first challenge and achievement of the young artists. Happy day for their parents, faculty members, and friends. We are here to see and show one of the most original work exhibited here, and also to introduce its author to you. Meet young artist Sofiya Chudnovskiy, I would say a unique artist. Sofiya, today you've got your degree. Has anything changed in your life? What are you feeling? What are you feeling right now?
It's a little surreal. I'm overwhelmed, and I'm proud of my accomplishments and the people who helped me get here.
Can you introduce your work to us, please?
Yes, this is my cube. 8 feet by 55 inches and cube. So there's 7 paintings, and they're full of creatures, movement, and life.
What is the exhibit called?
It's the senior show, 2010 at the Lime Academy College of Fine Arts.
And what is your composition called?
I have separate names for each of the pieces, but I like to call it the cube.
And how long did it take you to make it?
I like to say that it's a year's worth of work, but it actually took me 3 months or 4 months to make it.
Oh my God. Well, actually, we can see a lot of characters here. What is the connection between all these characters?
The connection that I've developed between my images is through the composition. So from one painting to the next, the shapes are similar, but the images are different.
That's very interesting, and I think very unique. Is there any relation between the artworks that you did before and this unique piece of art?
Yeah, I would say so. I've been designing all kinds of little creatures and relationships between them since I was a little girl, but only now have I been able to find a material and a technique that I've developed to support the life of my creatures.
And can we talk about each of these paintings?
Of course.
Okay, will you please
Let's
tell?
start with the first one.
Thank you.
Here it's kind of an iconic view of the creatures where the environment is fluid and moving. This was the first piece where I discovered the holographic kind of image. When I took a few pieces of silk and I have a similar image on each of them, and I was able to get this stereoscopic effect. It's a cyclops right here, covered in scales, and this is a man and a cat, and he has little legs, and this is kind of like a sea bull creature, and this is kind of a fish man. This was the second piece. I like to call it the Mad Hatter.
Has it any connections to the Alice in Wonderland?
I like to think of him as the Mad Hatter from Alice in Wonderland. The piece is actually based on a dream that I had where I walked into a room and there was a man in a top hat on fire, and there was an image on the TV and a pile of wolves. So I kept the composition from my dream, but I changed the man and I put the fire out, and I made the wolves into these sort of humane animals. I have 2 dogs, a cat, and a mouse.
What can you say about the mouse?
He's a pirate mouse, or a gypsy mouse.
Why is he a pirate?
Well, because he has an earring in his ear, and because he's actually doing his business on the cat.
Oh my God. Well, actually, we can see a screen or a TV set, or what is on top of the painting? Can you tell us a little bit about this optical, I would say, illusion?
It's the Mad Hatter, but in a different time, and he's sort of watching these home movies of what maybe his life was like prior to this, and we have a chick woman with cactuses coming out of her rear, and he's sort of looking at her in this, you know, romantic or, you know, observant and
she looks like a real lady.
But here, as you can tell, his eye is a lot more animalistic, and in many ways, the animals are a lot more human than he is.
But you know, they are watching us. We are walking around and they're watching us. How did you manage to make this effect?
I have 3 layers of silk here. 1, 2, 3.
Can you show each of them, please?
The other layers are a lot more ghostly.
Thank you. Do you work on each layer, or you put them together?
At first, I start to work on them together when they're attached, and then I separate them and I work on them individually. So I can achieve optical mixing. Down here, I really like this shape. I call it a nub, which is basically a ball and a stick, and it creates like a really interesting organic sort of flower or grass, but it's something that's not, you know, something you wouldn't find in nature.
Yeah, but it is alive because it is moving. I can see it is moving. But can we shift to another world? This is a world, another world.
So this here I have a few characters, which is a box head creature that's coming out of the lake, and I have a cat creature which is wearing a bra and has 1 leg, and he's trying to climb into a skirt and a pair of legs. On top of her, there's a duck / parrot / vulture / person, and he's standing on top of her. In feathers. And I have this huge head with octopus eye, and it's all in this landscape and waterfalls.
Wonderful. And can we go to another? Yeah, you see, people are traveling in her world. People are traveling in her world. That's great. So,
here I have an opportunity to actually walk inside my painting. Let me demonstrate. And the last piece.
So do you want me to tell them that?
Huh?
kids love.
Спроси его, что он думает о работе.
Here I have goldfish, a lamp creature, a lamp woman, a woman with a cone head, with a kitty t-shirt and fishnet stockings with octopus arms, and she's standing with another woman who is sitting.
And there is another question. What is the most important factor in your creative work? Can you just differentiate?
I would say that the most important factor is to be honest with what I want to do and try to do work that I feel versus pleasing anyone. And it's important to be honest with my work so I can be honest with myself.
How did you create it? And what was the goal of this technique?
To give an opportunity to see the world through my eyes, to give an opportunity for people to do that and make a veil for the perception of the viewer so they can get a glimpse of mine, and to be able to share that with other people and to give life and movement and to my images, and also allow people to interact with them physically.
As far as I understand, this new art technique has been created by you. Tell us a little bit about this new style.
It just happened. I mean, it just came to life. I don't know how the creative process works. I think it's one of the mysteries. I don't think there's any one formula how to come up with something new or something that hasn't been done before. I guess the only way it can happen is if you're working. So if you're not working, nothing's going to happen. But if you are working, that you have an opportunity that maybe something will happen.
You know, your last name is Chudnovsky. And in Russian, we call the unique characters in your artwork chudiks, after you. Tell us about this broad spectrum of chudiks which you have created. About how many are there, how many chudiks are there, and what are the relations between them?
There are over 20 in my family, but the ones that I've created, there's thousands. But I also like to see them as my children, so it's appropriate that they take on my last name.
But in this world of chudiks constantly changing, did you ever try to write a story or a phantasmagoria about this world?
This year has been challenging. In this piece, I think for the first time I was able to create an environment for these creatures to live in. Before I didn't explore landscape or an environment, but now I thought that it was appropriate that these characters deserve a world to live in.
But how important is the critical opinion of teachers, classmates, other people regarding your work?
I mean, it's nice to have someone there looking at you, looking at your work, somebody who is going to say something and not be, you know, somebody who cares. It's important, somebody to have a dialogue with about what you're working on, what you're doing in your life is important. And I think when I'm going to leave school, that's something that I'm going to try to recreate, is to surround myself with a group of people who will be able to talk to me about my work, because I think it is crucial.
The thing is that this is my next question. Who is your biggest fan and whose opinion do you value the most?
In my work, I think first and foremost I value my own opinion, because I have to live with what I did. After that, I think I value, as funny as that sounds, my parents aren't artists, but I really value their opinion in my work. And after that, you know, to be honest with you, it's kind of selfish, but I don't value.
How about your brothers?
No.
No. Do you plan to continue this movement, and what are your future plans?
My future plan is to build a pyramid.
A pyramid.
Yes.
Yeah.
And to maybe a labyrinth. I want to do a series of geometric forms.
Oh, you like geometry, I see.
In art.
In art, okay. Do you want to get a patent on this new technique, or will it flatter you if other artists choose to use your style? And it is enough.
I'm in the process of working for a patent on a patent, but the patent is not for art. If somebody wants to make an art piece using my technique, I would be flattered. But as used in commercial, I definitely would like to take credit for having come up with it.
I'm sure of that. It seems to me that your work is honestly amazing, and you are very talented. You know, the Russian poet Lev Ozerov once said that we cannot spare the words, but we understand that it's necessary to support a real talent, because otherwise we know that people without talents can push themselves through any situation. What is your opinion on that?
There are very few people who support talent, and even people who are artists themselves sometimes don't see other people's talent because they themselves are a talent. So you have to be sort of egotistical and egocentric to be an artist, and you can't blame another artist for not realizing or seeing talent in somebody else. But it is very important for an artist, I think, is to have people to support the talent, because otherwise it's very sad to see a talent perish.
Actually, it's your challenge. Your talent is your challenge, and we wish you good luck. We wish you happiness. We wish you new challenges and fabulous achievements like this one that we can observe today.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.